Well, it seems that the moment has finally come. Hello guys and welcome to the channel. It's the Eradicator, and Chris did announce it in this year's CitizenCon that 3.18 would be tested in Evocati phase this week, and it is now a done thing. Now, of course, the update, we're going to of course remind you guys that the update is going to be including persistent entity streaming, and it was delayed because of a lot of issues that the developers wanted to solve internally, because these issues did not involve the requirement of having a lot of players. So that's why they did not go into Evocati phase, but it seems that they finally got the green light to do so. So we are going to remind you guys that 3.18 requires a complete rewriting of a lot of the code of the game in order for persistent entity streaming to work properly. So we should be expecting to see a great deal of features to not be working properly, at least at the beginning, and that is why we are not going to be seeing Alpha 3.18 on our screens for a very long time, simply because the task is pretty immense, if I may say so, at least to make the game playable, right? So now that it is being said, let's have a look at what the Evocatis have tested. Now, just to remind you here, these are of course rumors, right? So please take everything that I'm saying here with a pinch of salt. However, the sources that we are going to be using here have been reliable until then, so I think that we can still trust them. So as you can expect, things are rough, to say the least. They've only tested the first build on the US servers, and also the testers have not had access to all of the ships of the game, which is not really exceptional. I mean, it's Evocati phase, it's not something that we've seen before. However, they did not have any money in their account, simply because it does appear that the monetary system in the game, at least the rewritten monetary system, is not ready yet. So at least maybe not ready for persistent entity streaming. And anyway, this was not the goal of the test. Anyway, it was a limited test for only about 3 hours, and it seems that here the goal was to see how players will be connected to the servers. So for that, anyway, there's not much need for money, right? Also, they wanted to see if ships were spawning properly, which of course is very important, because if ships do not spawn properly, then you can't play the game. So that's definitely one of the core features here that they wanted to see was working. And overall, they wanted to see if the players were having an experience that could be labeled as stable, according to their own terms. Nevertheless, it does seem like the developers do have a lot of work on their hands, and here are some of the main errors that have been reported into the game. So first, it's important to understand that some players still are having issues to connect to the servers, and they still have even issues connected to the game, at least in PTU, right, in the 3.18. So that's already a problem that we have right now with 3.17.3. So there's nothing new with that. I'm having a ton of 16k errors already, but it seems that these are different errors. However, here it seems that there's a very interesting bug that has appeared, and I'm pretty sure that this is directly related to persistent entity streaming here. And it seems like when a player is leaving a server, whether it's because they want to leave the server or because of a client crash, well, it does seem like because of persistent entity streaming, the character of the player remains in the server and persists in the server, which is great because it shows that persistent entity streaming is working. But the problem is, because the character remains in the game, it's impossible for the player to come back into that server, because the character is already here and they would be stuck with several characters in game, which is something that does not work, right? So normally, apparently, from what we are reading here, it seems like the player character should despawn, but it would take about 5 to 10 minutes after the disconnection. And if it's not even the case, then unfortunately, players here, or at least Evocati testers, are invited to recopy their account into the PTU database. Also, we are going to be talking about 30k errors, which still exist. There's nothing really new here about that. and it's possible to have one of those 30k errors just by connecting to the server. And once you have one of those errors and you go back to the main menu, you can't do anything without restarting the game. That's a classic error here and has been existed for quite some time. Now, there is another error that has returned here regarding ship terminals, and it is the fact that when you are claiming a ship, the timer remains blocked, and so your ship is unfortunately unavailable. And if that happens, then once again you're gonna have to copy your ship into you're gonna have to copy your account, into the PTU. Next, we'll talk about transit systems, which have also been rewritten. At least the code has been rewritten. This is something that has been told many times to us by the developers, and it seems that it's a miracle that they don't have that many errors, which shows that the developers are really starting to get to know how to make the transit systems work properly. We only have 2 errors, so within the transit system we are going to include the elevators as well. And here it seems that the floating tram at Area 18s are not working. I don't know why Area 18 always have these issues. It's very interesting. So Evocati members here are invited to avoid Area 18 at all costs, and it seems that the elevators at the Horizon habitation modules are also not working, simply because they have disappeared. So it's also impossible to test the game from Horizon. So there we have it, guys. That's basically it right now. A very basic testing as we could have expected here, but nevertheless, it's the very first one, that is 3.18.0a, and we should be expecting these playtests to be extended to more functionalities in the very near future. But let me know in the comment section down below, guys, what are the challenges that you think, the major challenges that you think CIG are going to have to overcome in the near future, in your opinion. From what I could read, it does appear that just letting the players inside the servers is also going to be quite complicated, but I'm sure that they're going to make it. The only issue here is how much time that is going to be taking, right? Well, I guess we'll see. Anyway, if you answer the question and subscribe to the channel, you get a chance to win a Spirit C1 with LTI. Also, feel free to be joining our Discord channel over there. We've got a lovely community with lots of people who play regularly, and because it's to also chat with me over there and share your thoughts live. So if you do so, we have also another giveaway. We're giving away an A1 this time with LTI. All you have to do is to join our video sharing contest or become a Patreon or YouTube member. Thank you guys for watching. It's been the Eradicator. A big shout out to Dr. Fabin, Captain Snake, Geek Citizen, Zero Crusher, the DJ Dan. I will see you guys later.